Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dr. J. Burton.
Welcome, everyone. I know that you all know, or maybe you don't know, this is the second annual Cancer Survivorship 101, and we're so grateful that you came. And I know that there'll be people walking around, if they're like me, when they come to events or have deadlines. I'm known to be late, so I'm not going to be judging people as they stroll across. So you've had a lot of different options today because it's so nice out, so I'm glad that you're here. The question is, why Cancer Survivorship 101? The major reason is to create awareness of what this is. And I think that the important thing is that, one, you're here. Two, there'll be next steps that we'll talk about. But this is about making cancer survivors aware of what they're living with and making others who are living with them aware as well, and the general public, and yes, even their medical providers. We want to create educational opportunities. The speakers here today are leaders in their fields. They speak to other doctors. And so the opportunity to talk to actual cancer survivors in a large setting like this is pretty unique and creates enthusiasm for actually the speakers. We want to build a local, collaborative, local cancer survivorship community, which of course includes you, but also includes a lot of other organizations in the area that do really good work with cancer survivors. And like I said before, we're bringing national cancer survivorship leaders and educators right here to the greater Springfield area. We want to improve emotional, social, and educational support for cancer survivors, their caregivers, and families. This is information that you don't get in the medical exam room. In that environment, most of the opportunity to talk is about your treatment, the tests you're going to have, maybe the side effects, hopefully the side effects, as well as other doctors you may have to see. When I talk, I always talk about this. And there are two things that if you learn nothing today, and you will learn a lot more today, but if there's nothing that you remember except for these two definitions, I will consider this a success. And that is, who is a cancer survivor? It actually, there are people that debate this, but I believe it's the moment you're diagnosed with cancer, because that's when you go into survival mode. That's when your life changes. And you think, how am I going to fit cancer into my life? No. It's how your life is going to fit into cancer. And so that leads us to, what is cancer survivorship? It's simply living before, during, and after cancer treatment. The group that's putting this on is a small nonprofit called Survivor Journeys. We began in March of 2015. We have a really wonderful board, a lot of increasing members who are volunteers. We have cancer-specific support groups. We have a caregiver support group, because caregivers, you are our rocks. And we need to be able to address support measures for you. We have an adult cancer survivor and caregiver mentoring program. You'll hear from one of the leaders of volunteer management in cancer, Care Judy Casey-Harlat, later today, about mentoring. It worked for me when I was diagnosed. This was back in 2010, so really not that long ago, and that I had no idea about what the path was going to be in front of me. And I had a friend who had a friend that was going through the same diagnosis and same treatment at the same facility I was going to be at, and I had an hour talk with him. And I was a doc. And after that hour, I felt very sure in what I needed to do. So mentoring is extremely important. We have access to more than 10,000 mentors. I think I've been saying that for a year, so it's got to be more than that by now. But these people are nationwide. So we match people up, same diagnosis, close to same age, treatment, social situations. It's a wonderful program. We are a small part of that, and we get between 5 and 10 requests every day. We have pet therapy, everyone knows. Unconditional love. My wife is in charge of that. Her name is Susan Burton. And so that's a wonderful form of support. And then we came up with Cancer Survivorship 101 because we felt that our programs would not grow unless we educated our target audience. So, things to know. This is the general session. We'll be here in the morning. There'll be an afternoon lifestyle survivorship talk, 4 talks in this room. There will be a coinciding caregiving survivorship program in the auditorium of the Basketball Hall of Fame, which is just down that way. Down that way also are the bathroom facilities. We are live streaming this, and that's based on our collaboration with WWLP TV22 in Springfield, who have been wonderful partners. And so I know there are people out in California who will be watching this, and I think that if you are seeing this on live stream, please send us an email at survivorshipprogram@gmail.com, so we know who we've reached. We're also taping this in its entirety, so it'll be on the Survivor Journeys website, survivorjourneys.org, sometime within the week, because we know that there are people that were not able to come here, whether they live far away, or they're not well enough, or they may be doing something else. Our sponsors today, I want to thank them. They are Kidney Care and Transplant Services of Western New England. Their lead physician is Dr. Jeffrey Mulhern. Springfield Thunderbirds, Tommy Carr Auto Group, WWLP TV22 in the CW, Wicked Power Sports, Mercedes-Benz of Springfield, James and Leslie Frank, Jean DeLiso, and S. Presley and Helen Blake Fund of the Community Foundation of Western Mass. I hope some of you have had the opportunity to see some of our vendors, Bright Star Healthcare, Big Y, Dana-Farber, the American Cancer Society, and Westfield State University. If you don't see people here that you think should be here, it doesn't mean they weren't asked. So what I'm going to say to you is, go back to them. Say they should be part of this. And hopefully next year when we have this, and we will have this, and it will be on the same day. I'm not sure where it'll be, but hopefully we'll have more involvement and collaboration from other community organizations. So we have evaluations in your big orange green bags and folders. They are very important. We need you to fill them out. Part of what we do here to gain more national support and local support is we have to show people, researchers, other deeper pocket organizations that what we're doing here is a good thing. And we want to do it again, and we want to do it bigger. And that's because there are topics that I would love to include in this symposium that also need to be presented. Though remember this, a lot of the topics that we're doing today are never going to get old to a cancer survivor. We will be presenting a lot of these topics year and year again because there are new people who are not here, there are circumstances that change, and they are important to hear more than once. In terms of support, Your being here is great. You are Survivor Journey's ambassadors. You are the people that have to help us grow if you want this to grow. This is about you. Find something that you need to work on to help us, volunteer. But more importantly, when you go into your doctor visits, my request to you is make your doctor feel a little bit uneasy about why they're not talking about these topics and maybe why they don't know enough about these topics. Whether they're oncologists, whether they're primary care docs, you got to remember one thing, they're human beings. Sometimes they need a little prodding. So that's the end of my particular talk.